So in the month of October, I saw 7 movies in theaters. So with that, let's rank each one of them from the worst to the best. Coming in dead last at number 7 is Anemone. I was very disappointed by this film. Daniel Day-Lewis returns to acting after 8 years, and the movie sucks. I mean, obviously, well, Daniel Day-Lewis is great, but everything else around him is terrible, to where the whole movie falls apart. When you have one good thing, everything else is terrible. And yeah, let's move on to number 6. Yeah, number 6, a small jump on this list is The Smashing Machine. And now I think there's a lot of really great individual parts, but it never pulls itself together very well because it's trying to cover so many different aspects of Mark Kerr's life at once that it just feels like it's stretching itself way too thin, not delving into or fleshing out one or two things, because it's basically just going one thing after another in just a 2-hour runtime, to where the whole film just kind of falls apart because it's not able to really get you invested in one aspect or another, because it's just bouncing off one thing to another and then it's over. But nonetheless, Dwayne Johnson was really great. And yeah, that's about it. Let's move on to number 5. Making our way into the top 5, a huge jump on this list is Good Fortune. Now, this is just a fun, classic, switching places comedy with a message that, yes, is prominently featured, but never feels like it's beating you over the head with it, because it's nicely woven into the greater story. And that's really all I have to say about this film. Coming in at number 4 is Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Now, this is just a really well done biopic that never falls into the trap of stretching itself way too thin across many different aspects of the person's life. This one focuses on one specific aspect and fully fleshes that out, really gets you invested in that, and uses that as a vehicle to explore his past and explore why his music is so deeply personal. And I loved that about this film, that because, like, I mean, after Smashing Machine, where it tries to cover all these different things and fails at all of them because it's trying to cover so much ground, that's really all I have to say. A really great biopic that is very refreshing. Coming in at number 3 is Black Phone 2, and I loved this film, whereas I did not like the original. I love how they take The Grabber and do much more of a Freddy Krueger angle. Also love the stylistic decision with how they contrast the dream sequences with the real world, having that grainy, low quality film look to contrast, mixed with the retro snowy atmosphere of Alpine Camp being a great setting for the film. Then you have the sister character, which I love how they use her dreams as a vehicle to take all the lore presented in that first film and expand on it in a worthwhile way, which I feel like was most people's concern going in. It's like, how do you even make a sequel to a film like The Black Phone, where it's so open and shut? This one answers that question and does it very well. The dream sequences are awesome. Even the brother still gets quite a bit to do here, where he's more in a trying to be more of a protective brother, and I love that relationship and his part within the film. And yeah, so genuinely loved this film. I thought it was great, and yeah, let's move on to our runner-up. Yeah, number 2 is Roofman. And now this is just a very well-rounded film, and probably my biggest surprise of the year, where you have Channing Tatum, who has this great screen presence and charisma. So you have all these fun sequences of him running around a Toys R Us, or him robbing a McDonald's but being very kind to the employees, but never loses sight at the emotional core of Jeffrey Manchester within the film, and that's what I love about it. The film is just very well rounded. I was so surprised by how much I loved it, because I went in just expecting to have a very fun, kind of just silly ride, but it ended up being much more than that, and I loved it. Let's move on to our number 1 pick. Coming in at number 1 is Tron Ares, and this is just a film that delivers that signature Tron experience while also having a plot that never feels half-baked, which isn't something I can say about the first 2 films. You also have the classic story of an AI becoming human, which is so overdone in Hollywood today, but they do very well here, also bringing the Tron world and visuals into the real world is something I thought might not work very well, lose some of that style and spectacle in translation, but it never does that. It gives you that nice mix of the grid and action in the real world, and I loved that. Just all around, I thought this film was amazing, and that's why it comes in at number 1.